Today is April 24th, and in Canada it is Wear Red Friday in honor of the biggest massacre in the history of Canada, in Canadian history, that happened last weekend in Nova Scotia. And so I'm wearing red to honor that as a Canadian. And it really touched me. I lived in Nova Scotia for 4 years. I went to Acadia University, and it's a beautiful, beautiful little province, and the people are so kind. And it just blew me away to hear this news. And yeah, here I am with Carolina. Hello, Carolina.
Hi, Jayka. Nice to be with you. My heart goes out to Canada, and yeah, it's so tragic.
It is
And
very,
especially around this time where we're in a crisis anyway, in a global crisis. And so so the question is, how did the COVID-19 possibly play into somebody, losing it to that degree because it wasn't, he had a list, you said, and he had certain people he was targeting. So
yes, yes. He went on a rampage for 12 hours. And yeah, like I said, like you said, he had a list. And yes, you wonder, is there a connection? He was a denturist. And so self-employed, had his own business. Obviously, he would have had to, close his business. And I mean, it's all speculation, but what if he already was struggling a bit mentally and then this took him over the edge, right? And then that brings to mind the idea where the cure ends up being more deadly than the disease, right? Where the cure is right now with COVID, everybody stay home, close your businesses, self-isolate. And what if that triggered his actions? I don't know. I don't know, but it makes you wonder, right?
Hmm. Well, if we imagine if people have already fragile mental health and then they're in danger of losing their job or they're stuck with their families and there's a lot of conflict. I mean, it's, or financial difficulties. It's very easy to see that somebody could, just go over the edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're hearing as well, I'm sure you've heard it too, that there's definitely domestic violence is up,
Mm.
right? And children aren't able to go to school, which for a lot of children, this is an escape, right? It's an out, and same with yeah, husband, wives. And so it's definitely the darker side, isn't it, of the the COVID-19 situation that we're in. Yes, yes.
So what's the solution? I mean, what is a way that you would suggest we could?
For me, so in Canada, we're still able to go outside, and the same in the States, right? There, so we can still go for walks in nature, and you can do gardening, things like that. So for me, anytime I feel stressed out, for me, nature just balances me, right? And so I would highly recommend for people to remove themselves. But then, of course, some people get caught in the moment and the damage is done before they realize, oh my gosh, I just took this, I took my anger out on my kids or whatever. And so what would be the solution then, right? Greater awareness.
Mhm. Well, that definitely. But one thing even before then is because a lot of people are not really, they don't have that much emotional intelligence and they haven't done inner work and they haven't, got the awareness of how to deal and navigate around strong emotions. And so I think maybe the first step is to get yourself some help, reach out to somebody, remove yourself from the situation and reach out to somebody and get yourself support, something.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this kind of support you can do online, right? I mean, you're a coach, I'm a coach, there's many coaches out there. And I'm sure, psychologists as well are offering their services through Zoom or whatever. So there's help out there if people are willing to seek the help. And that's, another thing, right? Is people may just be like, no, 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 it's going to show weakness if I seek help, right? So, yeah, I know in my practice, I practiced awareness. That was my number one step that I also suggest to my clients. The number one step is to become really present and really aware of all of your actions, your reactions, your thoughts, your emotions, and be aware without judging them and just hold space for them. And it's a really good way to start to get to know yourself, right? And then when you start to see patterns, then you start to realize, okay, this is a pattern. I tend to get angry and react in a certain way with this person or in that situation. And I'm going to work on this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and I think that's beautiful, the awareness piece. And also what I find is we tend to have like a safe emotion, like a go-to emotion, and it may be, anger and blasting somebody, or it may be totally withdrawing, isolating.
yeah.
But really, this is a surface emotion, and there's something deeper beneath that. And if you can let yourself feel that emotion, it may be vulnerability, helplessness, powerlessness. But when we let ourselves feel those deeper emotions and just be with them, um,
Mm-hmm.
then we don't have to act out our safe, our superficial emotion.
Right. And what's underneath is often fear, right?
Mm.
Some kind of fear is usually what resides underneath the anger. Yeah. And I know from a few of my clients who have struggled with anger, it's an adrenaline rush. And so they become addicted to the adrenaline rush. And for me, I used to be a jogger for many years. And I loved the adrenaline rush that I felt after I was done jogging. And it was a rush that I didn't really feel from doing other sports, not from bicycling, not from swimming, but really from jogging. And since I've started surrendering and meditating and tapping into my higher essence, my loving essence, there are many times that I feel the same adrenaline as if I've gone for a run. Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing because I just a couple of days ago did a journey process with somebody, and there were her words. She says, "Oh my gosh, it just feels like a drug," because she went so deep and connected with this deeper part inside of her, and she said, "Oh, that's like a good drug. That's amazing. That's a drug that if you had access to this emotion, you would have never needed any drugs, right? Because it's
exactly.
wholeness inside of us."
Yeah,
So.
I know it's the same, this I say this and I feel like I'm like high on cocaine or something. Not that I do cocaine, but this must be what it feels like because it's so beautiful, so beautiful. And everyone has access to it, right?
You mean cocaine, or do you mean?
Oh. Well, I suppose everybody could have access to cocaine, but I probably
I
wouldn't
just want to
recommend that.
clarify.
Let's clarify here. Yes, absolutely. Yes, no, everyone has access to the inner high. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. But it takes some surrendering, is what it took for me, right? To really sweep away all of the limiting beliefs and all of these emotions that were attached, the fear that were attached to these limiting beliefs. And once I cleared that out, I was able to reconnect with my essence and feel that incredible peace and joy. And then you are innately at peace. And when you get to that place, no matter what happens outside of you, whether it is a COVID-19 or all of a sudden, the weather changes or somebody is not being nice to you or you lose your job or whatever's happening outside of you, you're still at peace on the inside, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And if you lose that sense of peace, once you've connected with it, it's easier to reconnect, is what I found as well. Yeah. There's certain
Absolutely.
moments where I'm not always at peace.
Yeah. And the thing is, if there's external extreme circumstances like right now, they tend to trigger us, they tend to trigger our past unresolved, emotions and fears and traumas, insecurities. And
Yeah.
so they come bubbling up to the surface. And so it's like an invitation to start to peel off some of those layers and deal with some of those unresolved issues, so you
Yes.
can connect deeper with this deeper wholeness that's inside of you, that allows you to weather the storm and feel resourceful and feel confident and not totally collapse into it.
Yes. And so the key is for people to ask for help, right? And that asking for help is actually a strength, isn't it? It really is, because you're allowing yourself to be vulnerable and saying, hey, you know what? I'm not doing so well. And that vulnerability, there's so much strength there, and there's so much opportunity for growth there. So I guess the message that I'm putting out there is, if our viewers, and if any of you are struggling right now and you're feeling like you are reacting to the situation, no one would think less of you if you asked for help, right? And it could make such a massive difference. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a breakthrough in itself, to be able to admit, you need help. Like we all do at some stage in our lives. We all need to reach out and need to ask for help. And when we do it, that's when we can let love and support in, and then turn around for us to the better.
Yeah, exactly. So on that note, I think that is the message, right? That we have, that is the beginning of the solution, is ask for help, and then
Yeah,
see
yeah.
whatever comes up. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that I've got a link, and we can put it at the bottom into the notes. And if anybody's struggling, I'm more than happy to have a conversation. You can go straight in my schedule and book 20 minutes, and we can have a conversation. Just no sales conversation, just human to human connection. So I would like to offer this to you.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's a beautiful offer. And I would like to match that offer as well. We're all in this together. We're
Exactly.
all in this together. And so
Mm.
let's help each other out. Well,
Yeah,
thank you, Carolina.
and I wanted to send some blessings to Canada right now, just really just send some light and love. And again, we are all in this together. And it's happened in the US, it's happened in other countries. And so all our love and support.
Thank you. Thank you. All
Mm.
right. You take care. And until
You
next
too.
time, bye bye.
Bye bye.